Before you go to bed tonight, there is something most people completely overlook, and it could quietly affect your eyes over time without you even realizing it. If that caught your attention, I want you to stay with me. And before we continue, take a moment to like this video and subscribe, because what I'm about to share is something I wish more people knew earlier in life. It could genuinely change how you think about your daily health routine. I'm speaking to you today not just as a doctor, but as someone who has seen thousands of patients come in with concerns that started far earlier than they expected. Blurry vision, tired eyes, difficulty focusing on small text, or that strange feeling of dryness at night. Most people assume it's just age, but what I've learned over the years is that your daily habits, especially what you consume before sleep, can quietly influence how your eyes function over time. Most people don't realize that your eyes are one of the most delicate organs in your body. They rely heavily on consistent blood flow, proper hydration, and a steady supply of nutrients. When something in that balance is off, even slightly, the early signs often show up in vision changes long before anything else. And here's what makes it even more interesting. Your nighttime nutrition plays a much bigger role than most doctors once believed. While you sleep, your body is in repair mode. This is when cellular regeneration happens, including in the tiny blood vessels that support your eyes. If your body lacks certain antioxidants or compounds that support circulation and tissue health, your eyes may not recover as efficiently overnight. I've seen patients who ignored subtle signs for years, only to realize later that small dietary changes could have supported their vision much earlier. That's why tonight, I want to focus on something very specific. There is one simple fruit that, when eaten before sleep, may help support eye health in a natural and gentle way. It is not a miracle cure, and it will not replace medical care, but it can be a powerful addition to your routine if used correctly. But before I tell you what it is, you need to understand what is really happening inside your eyes at night, because that's where the real story begins. When you close your eyes at night, your body doesn't simply switch off. In fact, some of the most important repair processes begin the moment you fall asleep. Your eyes, which have been exposed to light, screens, dust, and stress throughout the day, finally get a chance to recover. But recovery depends heavily on what your body has available internally. One thing I often explain to my patients is that the retina, the light-sensitive layer at the back of your eye, is extremely active metabolically. It requires a constant supply of oxygen and antioxidants to maintain its function. Over time, factors like aging, poor diet, and oxidative stress can make this process less efficient. That's when people begin noticing subtle issues, needing brighter light to read, struggling with night vision, or feeling eye fatigue earlier in the day. What's important to understand is that these changes don't happen suddenly. They build quietly over years, and in many cases, people only pay attention once their vision noticeably declines. But your body often gives early warnings. It's just that most people don't connect them to nutrition or lifestyle. This is where nighttime nutrition becomes surprisingly important. During sleep, your body works to repair oxidative damage. If your diet supports this process, your eyes may benefit from better cellular recovery. If not, the natural repair cycle can become less effective over time. I've had patients ask me, "Doctor, is there something simple I can do every day to support my eyes without relying only on supplements?" And my answer is always the same. Start with food. Real, natural food that contains compounds your body recognizes and can use efficiently. There is one fruit in particular that stands out because of its natural antioxidant profile and its gentle support for circulation. It is not exotic or expensive, but it is often underestimated. When eaten in the evening, it may support the body's overnight repair processes, including those that affect eye health. And what I'm about to share next might surprise you, because most people already know this fruit, but very few understand its connection to vision support. The fruit I want to talk about is something you may already have seen in your kitchen or local market. It is simple, familiar, and often overlooked. I'm talking about the kiwi fruit. Now, before you dismiss this as just another healthy food recommendation, let me explain why kiwi has gained attention in nutritional science circles when it comes to eye support and nighttime recovery. Kiwi is naturally rich in vitamin C, which plays a role in protecting cells from oxidative stress. Your eyes, especially the delicate structures in the retina and lens, are highly sensitive to oxidative damage over time. While no single food can prevent age-related changes, nutrients like vitamin C may help support the body's natural defense systems. Kiwi also contains antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin in small amounts, which are known to accumulate in the eye and help filter harmful light exposure. Most people don't realize that even after the sun sets, your eyes are still recovering from the day's light exposure, especially if you spend time on screens. What makes kiwi particularly interesting is its role in sleep quality as well. Some studies suggest that consuming kiwi in the evening may support better sleep onset in certain individuals. And better sleep, as I always tell my patients, directly supports better cellular repair throughout the body, including the eyes. But let me be very clear here. This is not about treating eye disease or reversing vision problems overnight. This is about supporting your body's natural processes in a gentle and consistent way. I've seen many people make the mistake of focusing only on corrective measures like glasses or eye drops, while completely ignoring the nutritional foundation that supports long-term eye health. That imbalance is what often leads to gradual decline that feels sudden later in life. Adding a simple fruit like kiwi before bed is not a cure, but it can be part of a broader lifestyle that supports your eyes, circulation, and overall recovery during sleep. And when combined with other healthy habits, the effects may become more noticeable over time. But there's another important layer to this story: how timing and consistency can completely change how your body responds. One of the most overlooked aspects of nutrition is timing. People often focus on what they eat, but rarely think about when they eat it. Yet your body follows a natural rhythm that influences how nutrients are processed and used. At night, your metabolism shifts into a repair-focused mode. Digestion slows down, hormone regulation becomes more active, and cellular regeneration increases. This is why what you consume in the evening can have a different impact compared to the same food eaten during the day. When it comes to kiwi or any nutrient-rich fruit, consuming it about 1 to 2 hours before sleep allows your body to process its nutrients more efficiently. This timing may help support overnight antioxidant activity, which is especially relevant for tissues like the eyes that undergo daily oxidative stress. I often remind my patients that consistency matters more than intensity. Eating one healthy fruit once in a while will not create noticeable change, but incorporating it regularly into your evening routine may help support long-term wellness patterns. Another important factor is hydration and circulation. The eyes depend on a steady microcirculation system to deliver oxygen and nutrients. When circulation is compromised, whether due to age, inactivity, or metabolic conditions like blood sugar imbalance, the eyes can feel the effects more quickly than other organs. This is why a simple nighttime habit that supports both nutrition and hydration can make a meaningful difference over time. Kiwi, with its water content and nutrient density, fits naturally into this concept. I've seen patients who made small, consistent dietary changes report feeling less eye strain, especially in the evenings. While individual results vary, the underlying principle remains the same. Your body responds best to steady support, not sudden extremes. But there is still something most people miss entirely: the connection between eye health and blood sugar balance, which becomes even more important as we age. If you are over 35 or especially over 50, your blood sugar balance becomes increasingly important for eye health. Most people associate blood sugar only with diabetes, but even small fluctuations over time can influence circulation and nerve sensitivity, including in the eyes. The tiny blood vessels that nourish your retina are extremely sensitive. When blood sugar levels remain elevated for long periods, it can gradually affect these delicate structures. This is why maintaining metabolic balance is not just about energy or weight. It is also about protecting long-term vision. Now, where does a fruit like kiwi fit into this conversation? It has a relatively low glycemic impact compared to many processed snacks. This means it is less likely to cause sharp spikes in blood sugar when consumed in reasonable portions, especially when eaten alone or as part of a balanced evening routine. This matters because nighttime is when your body is most focused on repair, not processing heavy metabolic loads. Choosing lighter, nutrient-rich foods in the evening can support more stable overnight physiology, including for the eyes. I want to emphasize something important here. This is not about restricting yourself or fearing food. It is about awareness. Small, consistent choices over time shape your long-term health far more than occasional strict diets. Many people I've worked with are surprised when they realize how much their vision comfort improves simply by adjusting evening habits, reducing heavy late meals, improving hydration, and including natural foods that support recovery. Kiwi is not a magic solution, but it represents a broader principle. Your body responds positively to gentle, supportive nutrition, especially at night when it is actively repairing itself. And as we continue, I want to connect this idea to something even more practical, how your nightly routine may be influencing your eyes more than you think. Your nighttime routine is more powerful than most people realize. It is not just about sleep duration, but also about how you prepare your body for rest. The hour before bed is a critical window where your choices can either support or strain your system. Many people spend this time scrolling on their phones, eating heavy snacks, or consuming caffeine without realizing the impact on their eyes and sleep quality. Blue light exposure, in particular, keeps the visual system active longer than it should be at night, which can contribute to eye fatigue over time. When I speak to patients about eye health, I often ask them a simple question. What does your last hour of the day look like? The answer often reveals more than any test. Adding a simple, calming routine that includes light nutrition, like a small serving of kiwi, can signal to your body that it is time to transition into repair mode. Combined with reduced screen exposure and proper rest, this can create a healthier environment for eye recovery. It is also worth mentioning that hydration plays a quiet but essential role here. Even mild dehydration can affect tear production and contribute to dry, irritated eyes in the morning. This is something many people overlook because the symptoms feel minor at first. Over time, however, these small imbalances can accumulate. That's why I always encourage people to think in terms of daily patterns rather than isolated actions. What you do every night matters more than what you do occasionally. And when you consistently support your body with simple, natural habits, you create conditions that allow your eyes and your entire system to function more smoothly. Now, before we conclude, there is one final perspective I want to share that brings everything together in a way most people never consider. If there is one message I want you to take away from everything we've discussed, it is this. Your eyes are constantly reflecting your overall health. They are not isolated from the rest of your body. They respond to circulation, nutrition, sleep, and metabolic balance every single day. When people ask me for a single fix or shortcut, I always remind them that real health does not come from one action. It comes from repeated, gentle support over time. That is why something as simple as a nightly fruit like kiwi can be meaningful, not because it is powerful on its own, but because it supports a healthier pattern. Most people don't realize how interconnected their habits are. Poor sleep affects blood sugar. Blood sugar affects circulation. Circulation affects the eyes. And the eyes, in turn, are often one of the first places where imbalance becomes noticeable. This is why prevention is always more effective than reaction. By the time vision problems become obvious, the body has often been adapting silently for years, but small changes, started early or even later in life, can still make a meaningful difference in how you feel day to day. I've seen people in their 50s, 60s, and even 70s improve their comfort and quality of life simply by becoming more mindful of their evening habits, not through extreme changes, but through consistency and awareness. So tonight, I encourage you to think differently about what you eat before bed. Think of it not just as food, but as support for your body's overnight repair process. And remember, your eyes are quietly depending on that support more than you might realize. Take care of them gently, consistently, and with intention.